I want to shift a little bit towards paid ads
Yep.
because in the world of the internet, it's always nice when you can start a little fire and then throw a bunch of jet fuel on top of it to
Yes.
accelerate results. And that's been the beauty of Facebook ads for so long is you can get started for so cheap. But over the last couple of years, Facebook has seen a dramatic shift in the way their ads have not only been performing, but tracking capabilities and even like interest targeting has largely disappeared. So kind of what's the current state of Facebook ads? Like if you're wanting to start a Facebook ads campaign, what are the styles of ads that are working for building custom audiences, lookalike audiences? Is it still complete registration? That still the target? Is it reach, through play? Like just kind of break down kind of the current state of Facebook ads and how they can still be useful. Because, like with every major shift, and I know this is something you preach on often, there's always opportunity, right? There's people that like, oh, well, Facebook doesn't work anymore, and they completely abandon it, and now it becomes, oh, well, this is underpriced now because so many people have shifted to trying to do more Google ads or things like that. So kind of give us a lay of the land of what Facebook ads is up to nowadays and what's working.
And it's that what you just described, Travis, has kind of happened. Prices have come down a little bit, but they've also, they're on the higher side. Facebook knows it's in a tough spot. The whole iOS update 14.5 with the privacy and all that stuff, it really hurt these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, a lot more, I think, than these platforms realized it would. And so Facebook is trying to figure out, that solution. Like, how do we take it from third-party data, meaning we can't really track very well when somebody clicks on my ad, goes to an external landing page that I've created and opt in for a webinar, for example. The visibility into actual conversions is so much drastically less than it used to be. So Facebook is like, all right, how do we make that a more first party data? How can we create that experience within Facebook? And one way they're doing that is with lead ads. So lead ads have been around for years and years and years, and they used to be terrible. But I don't know what they've been doing in the back end, but lead ads have been working quite well, and they have been for a while. So for those people who don't know, like the lead ad is basically when you as the advertiser want to collect an email address, for example. The experience takes place within the ad unit itself. So as a user, if you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook and you see an ad in your feed and you're like, oh yeah, I want to learn more about that, or I want to opt into that, you can click that button, the call to action button, and your information, like your name and your email that's tied to the account, is auto-populated. Now you can also set it so that it's not auto-populated. And that is a really good thing now, because the reason that lead ads years ago weren't very effective was that it would auto-populate with, the Facebook information, but so many people have like throwaway email addresses for their Facebook account that the leads would be cheap, but they would literally and figuratively be cheap, right? It would be a cheap lead cost, but then they were not quality, right? That has really changed. And you've got different options now when you're doing lead ads that they can be really effective for building your email list, and so on. And you can also connect it to, like, depending on how you're doing it, with like a webinar, that sort of thing. So lead ads, absolutely. Facebook has changed. It's not conversions anymore. They call it sales now. All that it's kind of weird, right? But all that means is if I do want to send people off of Facebook to a landing page, then you're choosing the sales objective. They've reduced the number of objectives, and they've made it very sort of clear on, okay, if your objective is to get people to join your email list, then essentially you've got two options: the lead ads and the I want to send people off Facebook over to my landing page. And that would be the sales objective. It's a little bit confusing. It is. But just know that when you were sending people off of the platform, you need to, like, what I like to call triangulate the data. So you're going to take the data that you see in Facebook Ad Manager that is not going to be super accurate. What's going to be accurate that you see in there is, like click-through rate and the amount of ad spend and the reach and all that sort of thing. But as far as conversion data, it's not going to be very accurate. So you're going to need to look at like your email CRM. So like, oh, did all these leads, like what's ConvertKit saying or whatever you're using, ActiveCampaign or whatever? What is my landing page software saying as far as the numbers? And they're never going to match up completely, which is, that's always been the case, but it is frustrating. You're trying to make your best guess on what is my cost per lead and how many leads have I actually brought in. So that's when you're sending people from like the traditional way off of Facebook, click on the ad, go to my landing page and do that. When you do lead ads, by the way, you will get much more accurate data. And just like you could with, an external, like sending people to an external landing page, you can build retargeting audiences with lead ads. Like, so people interacting with your ad, people that clicked on your ad, went to, the field where you enter your name, but they didn't complete the opt-in or registration. And then also you can build an audience of people who do complete the registration. So that's really cool. And that's all first party, quote unquote, data, meaning you're staying within Facebook. So Facebook can collect that data. So that's on that side. On the grander scheme, larger audiences, it used to be years ago where it's like, all right, let's get fairly specific, maybe a couple hundred to a few 100,000 people. Now we're talking millions in audience size, if you can. Your targeting ability, just like you said, Travis, is not as, we're relying more on the AI. We're relying more on Facebook's algorithm. It is way smarter than we are, but we're relying more on that, the machine learning, if you will, than our trying to specifically target. The way that we're targeting is, you can get targeted with interest targeting still. You can still do your custom audiences, meaning input your, bring in your email address or email list and it'll do its matching. You can create lookalike audiences and all that stuff. Again, those audiences are going to be smaller than they have in the past because people on your email list may have opted out of tracking, right? So Facebook might not be able to show the ad to people, that sort of thing. And then lookalike audiences, the quality of lookalike audiences has also suffered because of that as well. So yes, you can get targeted still with interest targeting, not as much as you could, used to be able to. The idea though is to get as targeted as you can while keeping the audiences as large as you can. I don't mean like hundreds of millions. I'm talking like a 10 million person audience or 5 million person audience, for example. And then once you start to teach the algorithm the type of people that you're trying to get in front of, then you can go broad. Like if I said 5 years ago, all right, Travis, let's target your ads to men and women between 25 and 44 in the US, go, you would have thought I was crazy. Like it's not something we used to do. But now that is that's part of the strategy, is go super broad, be very targeted with your ad creative, meaning your image or your video, especially your copy and your headline. And that way you're using the ad creative itself to speak to the people within the broader audience. And then Facebook is trying to find those people, if that makes sense. And so it's absolutely a creative game, if you will, on Facebook, testing different creative. And when I say creative, I'm talking about the ad unit itself, like the image, testing different images, testing different copy, testing different headlines, that sort of thing. Nothing new, but that's become even more important now. So that's kind of the state of Facebook ads. A lot of people say, oh, they don't work anymore. I can rattle off half a dozen people just in our coaching program. They're crushing it with ads. And here is one thing that I've noticed, especially after, I mean, this has been this way for years, but especially after iOS, is when you advertise consistently, when you have some form of presence, whether it's a video view campaign, you're just spending a couple dollars a day, or you're consistently list building, you will do better over time because you have that consistency. Facebook's, AI sees that you're consistently advertising, and you're collecting, the AI is collecting that data all along, so that when you go for a launch, for example, and you're like, I want to ramp up my spend, and you've been spending all along, you're going to do better during that launch. Like the days of just like not advertising and then all of a sudden open the floodgates for a launch, if you will, they're gone. I mean, you can still do it, but you are not going to see the kind of results that you used to see. I think those are the biggest differences, and also TikTok ads. It's wide open on TikTok, and the people who are in there now, they're doing really well with it.
So yeah, it seems like a blessing and a curse with Facebook now. It's like if you've been used to doing Facebook ads a certain way, it feels like you've lost a certain element of control compared to what you used to be able to do, right? I want people that follow this person and like this person and live here and speak this, and you could create like this multi-layered targeting like persona and be really, really specific. And so it can feel like a loss that, I can't do that anymore. But if you're just getting started, or you've always been overwhelmed by the idea of running a Facebook ads, that could actually be a very freeing thought that, I can just focus on making a really compelling post that speaks directly to that person that I'm trying to help with my business.
Absolutely.
And then it seems like the threshold for actually getting started and competing and to create profitable ads, like it's actually a pretty great spot to be in right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting now, you don't know what it was like
right
in the past. So it's like, okay, cool, you're starting with a clean slate. And this should go without saying. Again, this is one of those fundamental things that you got to have a good offer. Whatever it is that you're offering. And when I say offer, I don't necessarily mean like the paid offer, because oftentimes, we're trying to build our list, right? We're trying to get people to register for an event, whether it's a video or a webinar, what have you. That offer, meaning, okay, if I want to send people to a lead magnet to build my list, that's your offer. It better be a really good offer in how you're communicating it for people to want it, obviously. Because if it, like, you can have the best ad, campaign set up and all this other stuff, but if your offer is crap, like, it's not going to do well, So that is first and foremost the number one thing. You have to have an offer. And this obviously comes back to what I said before, knowing your person that you want to be helping.
Well, hey there. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Honest Marketing Podcast. If you want to watch the entire episode, you can click right here and watch it right now. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get new videos every single week.